So I figured this video could be kind of a catch-up video to let you know what I've been up to yet so far this year or since the Christmas season, but also show you some of the spring decorating I've done around the house and just kind of talk about some of the projects I've been working on and different things like that. So even though I haven't been posting a whole lot on this channel since the Christmas season, those of you who followed me for years kind of have probably grown used to that. Usually after the Christmas season's passed, I take a moment and start just kind of getting the house in order, putting the Christmas stuff away, of course, but just also dreaming of other fun things that might be kind of fun to try or to do. So I'm actually trying to think what I've been up to the last few months since the Christmas season. I mean, other than taking Christmas down, of course, I've been doing some organizing around the house and some deep cleaning, which is something that's really a good feeling to get done. A lot of times the closets get away from me because through the busy recording season from, Halloween, which has kind of been starting almost in May, all the way through, the fall and the Christmas season, there's just so much stuff that I'm switching out, moving around, and everything has to be done so quickly that I end up getting closets just packed with things that I just need to get out of the way really fast, or I just don't have a chance to go through things as much as I would normally like to. So what ends up happening with that, of course, is you end up with these closets that are just completely messy and hard to find what you're actually looking for sometimes. So it is just kind of a weight off of me feeling to kind of go through things, get rid of some things, and get the closets organized back to normal so that I can find what I'm looking for when I'm working on stuff. But aside from that, my online shop has grown, so I have a lot more inventory that I also need to store. And, I'm not putting a shed out back or doing anything like that, so all of this inventory has to just fit in our home. So I've been really trying to go through things and make space for this extra shelving. And I have a lot of Halloween stuff ordered that I'm excited to see what it looks like. They're kind of new things this year for this upcoming Halloween season, but it's a bunch of stuff that I do not have shelving for yet. So I've been still trying to figure out where I'm going to put all of that stuff when it arrives, but I'm working on it slowly. But aside from that, upstairs in my craft room, which is also Marshmallow, our canary's little room, I have finally put up some curtains. So we ordered these curtain panels off of Amazon. I really liked the green color. I thought it was kind of vintage and rustic and just fit well in the room. And, the gold or the antique gold color goes well with the brass doorknobs and vintage hardware throughout our home. So that is why I chose that color. And I thought it went well with the green. But those were an absolute job to put up. I did not realize that they were going to be quite that intense. And I love the way they look. And I really like the curtains and the curtain rods. And there's a part of me that would like to put the same curtain rod set in the fireplace room behind me here, but part of me just can't imagine having to figure out how to put that up again in another room. So we'll see, but it's a possibility on the list. I wouldn't use green panels in there. I'd have to figure out what I'd want to go with, kind of those dark blue walls. But yes, around the house, I've done some spring decorating so far. It's a little, more on the subtle side this year. So kind of moving through some of the rooms in the entryway. I have my vintage paper mache little chicken kind of treat bucket that I got at an antique shop. So that is something I enjoy setting out every year. And also on the vintage desk is this bunny that is something that I do have available in my online shop. So I just thought that these were very, very cute with the kind of pose of this little rustic bunny print. And I like the flowers for the springtime feel. So I thought it was just adorable and was a fun thing to have in my online shop. So if anybody is interested in looking at these or any of the other spring items or the Halloween things that are slowly sprinkling in, I'll have a link to my online shop in the video description below. But moving over to the entry table, I just kind of have some fresh looking artificial greenery in this kind of cream colored vase, and this bunny bowl that I got last year at Home Goods, and put some antique seed packet style boxes in it just to give another nod to the spring season. In the fireplace room, I have a large floral arrangement. So this was something that I made in a separate YouTube video. So if you're curious on how this arrangement was put together from start to finish, I'll have a link in the video description to that. But aside from that, in this room, I have this kind of cute little spindly spring leafy garland across, kind of draped at the mantle. And I have some vintage Easter postcards kind of paper clipped to it. So that is kind of a fun way, I thought, to decorate the mantle this year. And I love vintage Easter postcards or just postcards from other seasons. So I thought this was kind of a cute way to display them. And taking just a second here, part of the reason I haven't recorded videos in this style is because there has been so much construction going on in this town. So it started last, I don't know if it was late summer or early fall, but they were tearing out and putting in a new bridge just a couple blocks down in town. And so there was a lot of kind of like booming when they were kind of working on that. And slowly through the winter, it eventually wrapped up, but now there's more booming going on in the distance because they are putting a walking bridge across the river. And that is kind of fun. It'll be exciting once that's finished, but I believe they're going to be working on it for quite a while. So instead of trying to record around that, if you hear a little kind of booming in the background, just letting you know that's what that is. And instead of recording around it, I figured I'm just going to embrace it and let you know that that's what's going on. But anyway, back to topics. So on the fireplace mantle, I have these golden bunnies. These were something I found at Home Goods. One of them I found last year, and the other one I think I found the year before. So anyway, that is how I decorated the mantle. And then moving behind the couch, I did pretty much the same thing that I do most seasons here, but then I set out these little metal Easter kind of chick toys. And then this plant right here, this was something that I put together. It's just a combination of 3 small house plants that have similar lighting and watering requirements. So it's kind of a fun way to make a little combination planter to have inside your home as a way of being able to garden ahead of the gardening season. So yeah, it was a fun little thing that I put together a few weeks ago, and the flowers in it are not real. Those are artificial little stems that I just kind of poked in to give it a little bit more of a blooming spring look. But aside from that, it's just all real plants in a cute little moss container. And over on the tea cart, I have a few chocolate looking bunnies. So these were something that I've collected over the years from Home Goods as well. And I just thought that they were kind of cute to have over here this year. But moving to the dining room, I absolutely love Green Depression glass. I've been collecting it for over a decade, and I keep getting little pieces here and there, and I don't really have specific patterns that I stick to, but I do like to get plate sets and cups and different things like that in the same pattern if it's possible to find them. But yeah, so I decided to use Green Depression glass on the table this year instead of my usual cabbage dishes, just as a little bit of a change and to try something different and nostalgic for me, because my grandma used to use Green Depression glass for holidays when we were kids. So it's something that I remember from my childhood, and that's of course the reason why I started collecting it, because it reminds me of that, and I love the color too. So yes, on the table we have Green Depression glass, but you will also notice it is mixed in with some fun spring disposable paper plates, napkins, and yeah, those are something that I of course have available currently in my online shop. But the reason that I decided to use this on the table was I thought that with the fun designs on them, it was a cool way to bring a more of a spring look to the table while using these antique dishes. And also because I don't have salad or dessert plates in the Green Depression glass pattern here. And so they were kind of a fun way to not only add a spring pattern to the place setting, but also a way to have the dessert plate on the table, because I didn't have any in the vintage dishes. But I will probably be thanking myself later because it is half the dishes. But moving over to the built-in china cabinet, this I also filled with Green Depression glass. And one thing I forgot to mention is on the table, I really liked the idea of mixing the Green Depression glass with this kind of silvery galvanized metal decor, because for some reason it just seemed like it worked very well together. It worked well with kind of the vintage feel of this setup. So I continued that into the built-in cabinet with some silvery accented pieces. But in here, it's pretty much just some interesting Green Depression glass pieces. Some of it's very random, like a doorknob. That was something that my grandma had years ago and gave me a few years ago. So I thought that was kind of a fun piece to have in there, along with these Green Depression glass swans, some kind of leaf style dishes, and just some other fun, interesting little pieces. So the kitchen decor is probably a little bit between spring and summer. I would say that the decor in here is probably going to stay the same through the summertime, but I had these owl plates that I had purchased last fall from Target, and I thought that they were just super cool, super cute, perfect for little snacks. So I decided to set those out and thought they went well with this owl cookie jar that I got a few years ago from my mother-in-law for Christmas. So that is kind of what I set out on our island. And then at the coffee station, I have a cute little mouse with a mushroom wood cutout. This, of course, is something that I have available in my online shop, as well as a coordinating, absolutely adorable little mat that I have at the floor right in front of this coffee bar area. So just talking about the mat really quick, it's a nice thin mat. I don't know if I would use it outside. For me, I'd be worried that it would get wrecked, so I'm using mine kind of inside at the coffee bar. It's a place where I usually kind of decorate for the seasons, and this just seemed like a fun way to decorate on the floor this time. But I loved the imagery on it with the little mouse and the chipmunk and the mushrooms and floral and butterfly and just different things like that kind of around in it. So it was very cute, pretty, naturey, rustic, and I just thought was a fun thing to have for the spring season over here. But yes, that is a lot of the spring decorating that I've done in the house. I am quite excited that Easter is so late this year, being towards the end of April, because I feel like for years I haven't been able to plant like the tulip or daffodil plants that you can buy at like any kind of garden center type store, because I used to put together little spring kind of planters outside, but I feel like Easter's been so early the last few years that by the time the planters thaw, it's already past the Easter season, and so, you know, I don't end up getting to use the real flowers. So this year, I think that I am going to do that, but it's still a little early here yet, so it'll be a while before I can do that. But that is something that I am kind of excited to do. A little fun fact about this kind of spring tour vlog video, whatever you'd want to kind of categorize this as, but I started recording it over a month ago. Not this right here, but I did a walkthrough of the house and recorded, you know, space by space and talked about everything, and then sat down at the computer to look at the video clips, and my voice just sounded awful. And it was because Tim had a cold, and I was trying so hard not to get this cold, and I thought that I was okay to do the walkthrough recording of the video, but my voice was a little kind of restricted and something, because I think I had just a hint of what he had. So I ended up having to scrap the 2 hours of recording of myself walking around. And so I'm happy that I'm finally kind of getting to doing this now, because it's been on my list for a while. But another thing, I mean, after I got better, after he got better from our little cold, I just kind of randomly got sidetracked into a little bit of a writing project. Again, I like trying kind of different things. So sometimes when it's in this somewhat of an off season from recording, because it was between, you know, holidays, I'll work on a variety of different things. I've written books. I've worked on art projects, making, you know, Halloween decorations for my website, which I've made a few. I haven't made a whole lot yet so far this season, because I've just been busy with a whole bunch of other things around the house. But I have made a few Halloween decorations for this upcoming Halloween collection on my website and my shop. But aside from kind of working on all those things, I mean, in the past, I bought a music composition program and played around in that, which was a blast, but time consuming. I've taken the chance to take a break and play video games. There was the one time where I got into playing Hogwarts Legacy, and I just was playing that through that whole season, which isn't maybe the most productive, but you know, sometimes a person just needs to have some fun too. Not that this other stuff that I do isn't fun, but it was a fun time. And like, there was a Mario game one time, and So anyway, this time I, have been working on some Halloween crafts, but I got sidetracked after the first attempt at recording the tour with a little writing piece that I was working on. And when I start working on a project or when I start writing on something, there's a very big passion for it, and I get all excited about it. I'm all into kind of that thing, and I don't really like to stop until it's completed, because otherwise I lose some of the momentum that I have for it, or it just is a little more difficult to kind of complete. To complete. So anyway, I had a little writing project that I just started, and all of a sudden, like 26 chapters later, and it's not incredibly long. It's longer than Thomas. It's not longer than Beatrix Percival, because Beatrix Percival was 3 separate books that I completed into one. But it's, I think, around like 30,000 words. So that was a fun little project that I'm not sure if it'll turn into anything, but we'll see. But that kind of was a little side tangent to getting back to this kind of spring video. And I'm still not done with that little project. I still have to think about, what do I want to call it? I have copy editing that needs to be done with it. I have, I just want to go through the story a few times to make sure that everything's where I want it to be. And then there's, a cover, if I'm going to have the cover designed by somebody, if I'm going to design it myself. Like, there's a lot of different things to do with it. But anyway, it's been fun. So that's kind of what got me distracted and whatnot for a while. And after I'm done with this video, I'm sure I'll rush back to it and kind of keep working and seeing what I might end up doing with it. But I mean, I guess the other thing too that I've just been doing that I think is incredibly important is, it's good to work. It's good to work, but it is also good to have minutes to relax, read something, play a game, watch a movie or a TV show. And, the other thing that I've been doing is I have been keeping on my workout schedule, because that has been something that has been very important, something that I've always wanted to do for years and years and years, working out, and just found it difficult to stick to a schedule, because once a recording season came along, or you go on vacation, like visiting family, or you get sick. I mean, there's so many things that just throw off your schedule, and I have been very, very good at not getting off my schedule. Even when I was sick this past winter, I worked out and stayed on schedule through it. And I don't know if that's a good thing, but it made me feel good that I wasn't falling off of my schedule. And so that's something that I've been prioritizing as well, is just putting enough time into work, but also putting time into things that are, good for me, like working out, or having a moment and reading something, or watching a fun movie, and different things like that. But yeah, so I guess that is about all that I can think of at the moment as far as what I've been up to since Christmas. But I really, really hope you all have a fantastic, wonderful spring. I'm so excited for it to finally be gardening season again. I say that now, and then the weeds will be sprouting and I'll just be busy. But it is such a fun time to just be kind of in the garden and working, to make the yard look pretty. And and just spending time outside. It's something I really miss when it's the winter time and it's cold and windy. And so spring, is just almost here. And I cannot wait to get outside and start planting stuff. But But yes, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful spring, and I am sure I'll have a new video posted very soon.